Okay, let's continue from where we stopped. We are talking about power audits, and we are saying that we have a template that we use when we go for power audits. This template is for a residential power audit, and it talks about electrical information of the facility. When we are going for a commercial or an industrial power audit, we use a different template for that. Then the first thing you are having here is the serial number. One, you number it serially. 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many electrical appliances you have on the facility. The next thing you are having here is the item. Which electrical load are you considering? We are not talking about bed, um, your bed or your kitchen utensils. That is not what we are talking about. We narrow it down to electrical. We said this before. So item is it television, AC, laptop, and the rest. You list them here. Condition, or sorry, location is where is it located in the facility. Which part of the facility is it in the dining, parlor, and the rest. Condition talks about is it in a working condition? Is it in a working condition or it is not in a working condition? If it is in a working condition, just write good. If it is not in a working condition, write bad. That is what it means. The reason for this is you have to write this so that you know exactly whether the client will fix up that electrical load and still make use of it when you install the system. If he or she will not make use of that electrical load again, good and fine. That means you will not capture it in your design when you are designing the system. But if he or she will make use of that electrical load when you finish installing the solar system, you have to include it in your calculation, bearing in mind that he will replace it and still make use of it. Or if he will change it, maybe go and buy another electrical load, you have to ask. Maybe he was using a 3 television before, one or two breaks down and he has been using one. When you certainly fix the solar system, you will start enjoying the solar system and you will have needs to go and fix up other television. So if you don't capture it while you are doing the power audit and it fixes them and start using, it will affect the performance of the solar system. So that is the reason we are saying that you have to include any plan for replacement, and you have to equally ask the clients, his future electrical load, how will his electrical load be 3 to 5 years from the time you install that system. Certainly he might be a bachelor when you went for that particular power audit. If you get married, children will come in, the size of electrical load that he's using on that facility will certainly increase. So you have to equally, though we have not captured that in this power audit, but it's included when you join our paid training. There are other things we cannot capture here. We just selected few and try to communicate so that you understand what to do. So you have to equally ask of future electrical load how it will look like. So any need for replacement, and equally you have to ask, please, Sama, when you replace this electrical load, what size do you think of buying? Will you buy the one bigger than this, or will you buy the one smaller than this? This will give you a clue as to what to write, and maybe other question you might have needs to ask him or her. So we are not talking about the physical size here, we are talking about the rating, the power consumption. We have already said this. The power consumption is what we are after. We are not talking about the physical size here. So that is any plan for replacement. So please always ask for this particular information to be provided uh, when you are going for power audit. Any plan for replacement, and equally know the power rating that he or she will replace the non-working electrical load when you install the system. And sometimes ask for future electrical load, how it will look like. Then the quantity, how many do you have? How many? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 6? Your quantity here. Unit watts, we already talked about rating of electrical load. What is the size? What is the power consumption? So you put it here, total watt. Total watt. What is the total watt of maybe television here? So when you have the quantity and you have the unit watt, maybe you have 5 here, 5 as the quantity, and each of it is rated 20 watts. You have 5 here, then each of it is rated 20 watts. So what will be the total watt? That will be 5 times 20. That will be 100 watts here. That will give you, that is how to get the total watt. Unit watt, or sorry, quantity times the unit watt will give you the total watt. This is the column we are discussing now. We said item, location, condition, any plan for replacement, unit quantity, unit watt, then the total watt. We are here now. Then the next thing is appliance operating hours. How long will you use each of the electrical load? 3 hours, 2 hours, 5 hours, depending. You have to ask him or her as to how he normally make use. Maybe television. He might not be running the television 24 hours, so you need to ask. Maybe typically he runs it at night. The time of usage of the electrical load, you still have to ask. There are other information we can't capture here. That is the reason most time when people say there is a software for designing system, we say no. We know that there are software, and we have seen the interface. If it works for you, no problem. But we do our own manually, so that there are certain questions we need to ask the client, in which such questions are not captured in the software. So if your software works out for you, perfect and fine, no problem. We are not against using the software. So appliance operating, there are certain things I would love to say, but time doesn't permit me to say. You hear of those information when you join our page crawlers. So appliance operating hours. Appliance operating hours. How long? Is it 3 hours, 4 hours, as the case may be? Then total watt hour. Total watt hour. If it is, like AC, fridge, you might not be running those electrical. They are heavy loads. So you will not certainly be, if you say you will be running it for 24 hours, no problem. We will advise you, we will tell you the implication of running AC for 24 hours. We'll tell you the implication of running your fridge for 24 hours, because those are electrical load that really consumes power when we talk of installation. So you have to include that. Total watt hour, then the total wattage multiplied by the appliance operating hours will always give you the total watt hours of each of the electrical load. So this rule, you have the total watt hour. This particular rule you equally have. So you sum all the total watt hours and you have an answer to it. Then another thing that you have to ask, or you have to know that by yourself, is what is the peak sun hours in your location, in that particular location. Don't ask the client will not understand. So you have to figure out the peak sun hours. Is it 3 hours? Is it 2 hours? Is it 5 hours? Is it 7 hours? So all this information will really help you. There are other information or data that there are other information or questions that we ask the clients, and I think that those questions were not available here. That we capture them when we are talking about asking the right question. So I will advise you do the needful. So what is the peak sun hours? So that is how the residential template looks like. When we move to commercial solar installation and industrial installation, it would be a total ball